The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Tonight in Orlando, Julius Randle, big game with 38 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. But the young Magic proved to be too much. Franz Wagner was tremendous with a season-high 32. They played good defense down the stretch, and they were able to cap things off here with Jalen Suggs off of this sequence. Suggs with 21. So the Knicks have dropped the first two of this three-game road trip. Losing tonight to Orlando. Final score was 117 to 108. Great to have you with us, everyone. Bill Pito now here from our Delta MSG studios. Wally Szczerbiak will join us in a couple of moments from Orlando. So the Knicks unable really to overcome what was a really challenging second quarter. They scored only 15 points in that second quarter. They went 5 of 21 from the floor in that second quarter. They were down by 11 at the half. They were then down by 20 in the second half, and they got as close as 5, but they were unable to go any closer than that. As we take a look at the highlights, Randle was tremendous tonight. He had 16 of his 38 in quarter number 1 as he was dominant. The Knicks actually led after one quarter by the count of 29 to 26. Randle scoring 16 of the Knicks' first 29 points. Second quarter, it was all Orlando as they outscored the Knicks by the count of 29 to 15. Jalen Suggs showed him in the initial highlight with an excellent game out of Gonzaga, starting to really emerge now that he's healthy. Franz Wagner, third-year player out of Michigan, averaging over 20 a game. Tremendous ability to go to the basket. Orlando at that point up 44-33. They went on an 18-4 run. And then Wagner here to end the half. That goes around and in. And the Magic were up by 11 at the half. Third quarter, Knicks ended up going down, as I mentioned, at one point by 20. Great sequence here. Suggs to the rookie Anthony Black. And then it's Paolo Banchero, the rookie of the year last year, was tremendous tonight. He's had a great second season. He had 29 tonight. So Orlando at this point's up 20. Josh Hart chipping away for 3, and the Knicks within 12. Fourth quarter, Wagner puts Orlando up 90-76. R.J. Barrett tonight had 19. Layup for him here, and the Knicks hanging in there. They're down 93-84. Then it's Jalen Brunson, got knocked around all night long, doing his thing to the basket. 102-93, Knicks down 9, and then they pulled within 6 as Randle is going to convert here on the lay-in. The Knicks are down 103-97. About 4 minutes to go. Goga Batadze here blocks Brunson. Then Banchero finds Batadze for the jam. This was a key sequence because it put Orlando back up 105-97. The Knicks actually within 5, under 40 left, and this was a key sequence as Suggs nails a jumper that iced the game for the Magic as they win it by the final score of 117-108. Note the free throws. Orlando 30 of 40 from the line. That's the most a Knick opponent has attempted from the line and made from the line. Knicks, for their part, went 26 of 29, so they didn't lose a lot at the free throw line. We made a big point about points in the paint. Knicks actually dead even in that battle. Knicks and Magic, neither team shot particularly well from downtown. In fact, they actually shot exactly the same overall at 44%, and yet you total it up. Knicks lose 117-108. Wally Szczerbiak now joins us from Orlando. Helped call the game tonight, obviously, here with Mike Breen. Wally, appreciate you stopping by here. Overall, big thoughts, on what you saw tonight.
Well, that Magic team is really tough. They play an old-school brand of basketball. They're not the most skilled team. They don't try to get up 40, 50 threes a game like most NBA teams are trying to do. They just beat you with defense. They beat you with physicality. They have really good young players that have winning DNA, and they're serious competitors. They are high motor competitors, everyone that sets foot on that floor. Anthony Black, I don't think there's a defender in the NBA so far that's given Jalen Brunson as much of a tough time bringing the ball up the floor. I mean, he just worked him up and down the floor, made him work just to get the Knicks into offense. Jalen Brunson spent more time on the floor, I think, after falling down trying to get to the basket, than upright. And this team plays physical. physical. I think the Knicks knew what they were getting into. They struggled to shoot the three, so the Knicks had to attack the basket, and there were a lot of big-time collisions underneath the hoop because this team does not shy away from contact, and you can see why they are now 19-12 and maybe a big factor in the East.
Tell you, Wally, watching that game, I really thought that the Magic inexperience would cost them down the stretch, but that turned out not to be the case. I really thought the Knicks, when they got within 6 a couple of times and then within 5, I thought they were going to be able to pull this thing out tonight.
I felt the same way, Bill. I felt like, is it that the Knicks are just having an off night, or is it the Orlando Magic defense that's making them play some of the most awkward, turnover-prone, just unlike Knicks basketball that we've really seen all year long? I mean, they only scored 5 points in the first 9 minutes of the second quarter. That was maybe their worst quarter of the season so far. They couldn't do anything right. They had more turnovers at one point than field goals in that quarter. They just were not running the offense that we're used to them running. And in the end, I think you have to give the credit to that Orlando Magic defense. They're really good. I always thought, though, that the Knicks were going to turn it on. They were going to flip the switch. They were going to make a few shots. Their guys were going to start playing the way they're capable of playing, and they were going to figure out a way to pull out this win. This Orlando Magic team has been struggling, losing 5 out of 7 the last 12 games. Going 5-7 in their last 12 games. They've really been struggling. So I thought there was going to be a point where the Knicks were going to figure this one out and get this win, but give the Magic credit. Franz Wagner would not let that happen.
Well, interesting. The Knicks down the stretch making their comeback with Randle at the 5. I think he played more minutes at the 5, it's unofficial obviously, than we've seen at any point here in recent memory. What do you think about Randle at the 5?
Well, Julius Randle was outstanding. He was the best player on the floor, and it wasn't even close. And the Magic didn't have an answer for him. Well, maybe Franz Wagner was a close second today, the way he played, having a season high. But Julius Randle's just doing everything to try to help this team win basketball games. And unfortunately, he couldn't get enough help from the guys. I mean, the guys started to find their rhythm in the fourth quarter. R.J. Barrett made some key plays. I loved his compete level, especially when he had to downshift and play the 4 spot. He was banging with Banchero. He was rebounding the basketball. Josh Hart, is going to play with the heart of a lion. And that unit in the fourth quarter expended a lot of energy to try to win this basketball game. I thought they gave great effort, but they just dug themselves too big of a hole. And I think it was a great move because you needed to get guys out there in the fourth quarter that were just basketball players, that were making plays. Brunson's going to be able to get to the basket, make his free throws, and make things happen. Emmanuel quickly's been on some roll shooting the basketball. Needed him out on the floor in the fourth quarter. Josh Hart's a guy that's going to be a glue guy and hold everything together, despite the fact a lot of guys playing out of position. And then Barrett and Randle, I love their compete level in that fourth quarter. It was just a little bit too little too late. If there was maybe 5 more minutes left in the game and it was a 53-minute game, I think the Knicks would have pulled this one out.
Wally, one of your key points in the pregame was points in the paint. Orlando averages about 56 per game in terms of points in the paint, second highest total in the league, and they went for 58. However, the Knicks matched that total exactly. Knicks also had 58 points in the paint, so they didn't lose the game there.
No, they didn't lose the game. And listen, it's all a game of adjustments. Orlando Magic's, they're long on the perimeter. So when they close out to your three-point shooters, it's tough to get airspace and get a good look at the basket. So the Knicks had to adjust. They had to adjust, attack the rim. They knew the threes weren't going. They were 6 for 30 from the three-point line, which is very uncharacteristic for them. So they put their heads down. They got to the basket. They got to the free throw line. That's a credit to the Knicks, reading what the defense was giving them. It just came down to the end of the game where, the Magic were tough and holding on and getting the key stops that they needed. And I thought Batadze was huge. I mean, he defends that rim. He's a rim protector that alongside Paolo Banchero, even when Randle beats Banchero, Batadze's waiting there to alter shots and to make it difficult for the Knicks to score around the rim. There were a lot of makeable shots that the Knicks normally make, and as a result of the length and size and shot blocking prowess of this Magic team, they missed some of those makeable bunnies.
All right, Wally, short turnaround. Tomorrow night will be the Knicks' 32nd game, and it will be their 7th back-to-back. They're at the Pacers tomorrow night. What do you think?
Well, I'm tired watching this game because the Knicks poured their hearts out. It was a very physical basketball game, remnants of the old school NBA basketball in the 90s, where there was a lot of contact on every possession, and the officials missed some calls, made some good calls, but I think they didn't blow the whistle every single time. It was one of those games. Now tomorrow, it's going to be a track meet. Put your track shoes on. Indiana's going to play fast. They're going to let you score, but they're going to try to outscore you. So the Knicks have to be ready for that. They have to control tempo. That's the biggest thing tomorrow. You cannot get in a track meet with these Indiana Pacers. They want to run up and down the floor quickly. You have to make them uncomfortable and play half-court basketball. And you have a guy that I don't think the Indiana Pacers can guard in Julius Randle. And he's the guy that has to step up again and have a performance like tonight, because he can go for a monster night.
All right, Wally, we haven't crashed a plane yet. Have a great trip to Indiana, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night, okay? Miss you.
You got it, my man.
I even
Hold
miss
it
Han.
down. I miss you back there.
All right. Well, we'll see you after the road trip.